Okay, so as promised, I have got a series of videos to show you that happened over the course of the last week and a half, and it has just been one thing after the other. Now, I know that I posted in my Instagram that my grandfather got really sick and that he passed away, and I love that man dearly, and when he passed away I really just didn't feel like working on any videos at that point in time. But no sooner than did he pass, of course, Irma was right on top of us, and I recorded throughout the time period that we were dealing with the storm, but we lost cell network. One of the towers that's not very far from us actually got taken out, and it was, yeah, we couldn't even make emergency calls. Like,
3 towers were taken out.
Is it 3 towers?
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry, it was 3 towers. 3 towers got taken out. We couldn't even make emergency calls, and we don't have a landline, and even if we did, the power was out for 3 days and 2 nights anyway. So I'm just going to start showing you the initial videos of this, that I recorded throughout the period of this. Alright guys, as I'm sure you know, that previous video came out a little late because I wasn't going to reveal my green hair until I actually, or not the video, the picture, came out a little late in the game because I wasn't going to show my green hair until I got the video updated. But I'm going to try and keep these videos coming, even though those who are close to me personally know that my grandfather just passed away, and that was a lot difficult. He got really sick, and now on top of all of it, my granddaddy hasn't even been cremated yet, and Irma is trying to ride up on our butts. So I'm going to try and keep a couple of videos coming. I've got one in editing now, and I'm going to try and keep posted, but we're in South Georgia, and Irma's coming right for us. But I'm going to try and keep them coming. And with that, I guess that pretty much sums up this little video. It's pretty much just a update on things, because like I said, I really didn't want to reveal my green hair until I got the previous video up, but my Instagram pictures went up first because we had a get-together at my grandmother's place for my granddaddy, because we're not having a viewing. He's being cremated and then sent to California to be put in the vault with his late wife. So, but anyway, we got storm prepping to do, and I know you can see the disaster behind me, and that's not from the storms. That's just years. But love you all. See, now when you have a power outage, this is the way I like to celebrate. Lots of candles. I've even got my sacred candles burning. And I don't normally do that except for on certain occasions, but I think this called for it. We've been out of power for 8 hours now. And as you can tell behind me, it is getting dark. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles lit. Well, one of them's a 3, so actually 13 in that count. But anyway, I love my candles. I love them. Although this candlelight does not make the bags under my eyes look any better. It actually makes them look worse. But, we've been out of power for about 8 hours now. Well, actually I can't say that.
about 2 hours ago, the power came on for a split second. Literally, a split second. Power came on. Teresa yelled at me. I yelled at Daddy. And the power went back off. We've been charging our phones in the truck in order to keep in contact with the outside world to figure out what's going on. And as it stands right now, there's about 4,000 people in our area that have no power. Now that's just our area. Across of what Irma has done, it's actually more like 4 million people, but in our area there's 4,000 people without power right now. But anyway, with that being said, I just will end the video here because I just really wanted to do a video by candlelight. I really wanted to take advantage of this situation. I wanted to do a video by candlelight. And quite frankly, I love it. I really do. I'm loving the idea of doing video by candlelight. I think I'll do it more often with a lot of concealer.
Okay, so now at this point, with it being nighttime, the first night that we had no power, I was actually just enjoying myself because we had stocked up on batteries, but neglected to actually pick up lanterns, and I jerry-rigged some candle holders together and brought up my my candles that I have sitting up here around my computer that I like to light, and it just, to me, the only problem was that I couldn't take a shower, and I was just having fun with the fact that I lit up the entire dining room like a seance, and I was just happy that I was actually in the dark and able to light my candles up. But the next morning, I wasn't quite as enthusiastic. Let's watch.
Alright, so we've been out of power for just over 24 hours now. And to be honest, I'm exhausted because just to make a cup of coffee, we had to heat water on the grill, use a paper towel as a filter, and pour water through the coffee grounds, and it was really weak coffee. Everything was by candlelight last night, so my eyes and my head are kind of hurting. Our cell networks are down because the tower down the road is out. But I feel dirty. I need a shower. And I know this is like first world problems. Every time I go into a room, I get mad because I turn on the damn light switch. But we're making do. At least we weren't hurt in the storms. We lost a few shingles, got a little bit of damage, mostly the yard, but we're all safe, luckily. We're just dying for power. But
okay, I have to stop the video here. Okay, I want you to take a real good look at the side of my head. And, well, it kind of speaks for itself. It's just, yeah, my hair is,
I'm gonna take a line from Game of Thrones here, because it's finally cool in South Georgia. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. I promise. Love you all.
Okay, so after this video was recorded, my sister actually found that she had her facial wet wipes. I'm not exactly sure what they're for in particular, you know, like oily skin or, you know, getting makeup off or whatever. But she brought them up, and me and her decided that we just could not take the fact that our faces felt horrible, and I think we used probably about 5 or 6 a piece just to, like, I know it took like a whole one just to get like our face clean, and then I needed one for like my arms, and of course throughout the entire duration of this, not just with the storm and everything and the power outage, of course I wasn't wearing any makeup, but that doesn't stop your skin from getting too oily. But I was just thankful that she at least had some type of facial wet wipes that we could use, because I didn't really think about that when I went to go prep for the storm, and, you know, all I thought was water, obviously, bottles of water to drink, batteries for flashlights, even though we forgot to get flashlights and lanterns, and obviously non-perishable food, because everything in our freezers, in our refrigerators, went bad, and some of the stuff in our freezers went bad too. Luckily, we were able to salvage some of the stuff in the freezer because it was packed so tightly. So, let's continue. Yeah, I got at least cell service back. I just woke up from a nap and realized we had cell service back. We've had no cell service all day, and of course, as soon as I start making a video, it's gonna ding, ding, ding all over the place, but we still have no power. We lost power at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, and we have no power now, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it looks like we'll be spending another night with candles. I look like shit. I feel like shit. I'm tired. I want to take a shower. I love you guys. Here we are, night 2. We have been out of power for 32 hours. Of course, it's not that big a deal. One of the big things that we did before Irma got here was we filled up all of our propane tanks. So everything that we're eating, we're cooking it on the grill, and we stocked up on bottled water and stuff like that. The only downside is that I've learned to use the bathroom outside, which was interesting. I already knew how to pee outside, but never done the other one. I think the biggest thing is that I wish I could have a shower. I'm going to go see if I can find a place to take a shower tomorrow. Luckily for me, though, we also grabbed a couple of packs of batteries before the storm, and Matthew's puppy that lights up has batteries in it, so there's a little bit of light for him to go to sleep by. Other than that, we've got my seance going. Told Daddy last night that I had the dining room lit up like a seance, and he just started laughing. But I actually made us some new candle holders. It was actually pretty ingenuitive, you know. I actually made those last night in a rush. I think I found actually a new hobby that I want to pick up, because while I was carving that wax in order to create the base for the candle, I had a lot of fun doing it. I pulled out my wood carving knives and went at it, but, well, me and Albert have already said that by the time we get done with this, we're going to be so used to it that when the power does come back on, the only thing we're going to use for as far as power goes is shower and toilet. That's pretty much it. I mean, we're cooking stuff off the grill. During the day, we don't use any of the lights anyway. I mean, it is kind of an inconvenience to not have our phones charged, and that's merely because we have family even over in California, upstate in Georgia, upstate here in Georgia, and in around us that was in this crap that
We have a family in Florida, so we need to be able to get in touch with them. So if our phones are dead, we can't do that. So that's pretty much really the only inconvenience we've had so far. But we were all laughing because I can remember when we were kids, and when I was a kid, when our generation was a kid, I remember Daddy and Grandma and even Cindy telling us that, you know, there wasn't always TV and stuff like that, but now, Grandma's aggravated because she can't watch her TV shows, and it's just kind of funny. It's just a roundabout situation. Hello.
Joe.
Say hi.
Really? You want me to say hi looking like I look right now?
Can't even see you.
Hi.
Teresa thinks I'm trying to summon somebody.
You are. It's cold. It's cold in here now, and I have gas. So.
I'm summoning.
Watch brothers.
I'm summoning.
People off when they're trying to get off.
Alright, love you guys. We finally have power back. We got it back at 9 o'clock on the dot this morning. I'm gonna go take a shower. Because taking a shower via wet wipes, I feel sticky. I feel sticky. And I need to shower. Okay, so at this point, everything in the house is trying to smooth out. We've got power back, we've got cell service back, we're able to cook on the stove again and not necessarily just on the grill. You know, we're able to actually leave the house because we actually had a tree leaning on a power pole, and from that power pole a line actually snapped and was laying across the road. So all of that being fixed now, Matthew gets sick.
You want to say hi? You don't want to say hi? No? Okay. You want to say bye? Okay. Bye-bye.
Now, as you can see, Matthew is pale. And what we believe happened is the first night that the storm was coming, we all gathered up at the main house because it's a lot sturdier. And we put Matthew's large tent that he loves to sleep in the bedroom, and we laid down comforters. Got his pillow in there, got his stuffed animals in there, and of course got his bear blanket. Now, while it felt comfortable in the room, we believe he may have gotten just a little too cold in the tent. And Matthew is extremely susceptible to catching a cold or something like that when massive pressure changes. And we just had Irma. Well, Matthew had started getting a cough, which is normal for Matthew because when he gets a cough, he keeps a cough. But then the fever started. And then the day before, his fever spiked to 103.6. Now, obviously at this point, I'm bordering on a panic. I'm already calling his doctor. And they're telling me to just try to control his temperature enough until I can get him to the doctor the next morning. Like, as soon as they open. Which I did. Got him there first thing in the morning. And, of course, I'm driving to the doctor and I'm already thinking I'm going to end up at the emergency room. Because no sooner than Craig actually had to pick him up off the couch. Because Matthew was too weak to walk on his own. He was wobbly. He was in the car, and before I could even get the car really cranked up and, me in the car, he was already asleep. Now, keep in mind, Matthew's not one to sleep in late. we got to the doctor's office, and he ended up, now I'd been up with him all night with him attempting to throw up, but he couldn't eat anything. So of course, at some point, you're just not going to throw anything else up. So while we were at the doctor's office, he threw up stomach acid on me. Well, when we got him back there, and I was waiting actually in the room for the doctor to come in the room, his temperature was no longer high. It was too low. And I didn't know this, that obviously when you run a fever, you feel cold. You know, that's why you want to bundle up. You know, your body's trying to lower its inner body temperature. What I did not know is that when your body temperature drops too low, you start to sweat, because your body's trying to raise your inner body temperature. And he was sitting there on the table, facing me, and he had his head laying on my chest. And I looked at the doctor, and we just both kind of said, okay, we got to take him to the ER, because he was so dehydrated that not only was he lethargic, but the doctor said that he was extremely diuretic. So, and she wanted to test for flu and strep and all that, of course. But we got over to the emergency room, which is where I was just trying to take a picture with Matthew, trying to get him to kind of coherently wake up a little bit. He was pretty much, like, normally Matthew's energy levels are relatively high, and the entire time we were sitting in the emergency room waiting, all he did was he sat there in my lap, curled up against my chest and laying his head on me. And that is normally unlike Matthew. Even when he does get sick, he doesn't act like that. Well, we finally got back to the back, and his body temperature was still too low. But luckily, the strep and the flu tests came back, and they were negative, thankfully. Unfortunately, when they did the x-ray, they saw that his lungs were almost completely clogged up with bronchitis. And the doctor who came in to give Matthew Zofran said that it was a good thing that I was able to catch it as quickly as we did, because Matthew was bordering on pneumonia, which, you know, it happened so quickly that even he was kind of amazed that, you know, there was just so much clogging up in his lungs that was bronchitis. But luckily it's not pneumonia. Although, you know, normally when they give a kid that bubblegum pink antibiotic and it always tastes like bubblegum, and, you know, I never have any problem taking it because it tastes so good. It's such a strong dose of K-Flex that it doesn't even smell good. I'm going to be honest with you. But at least he's taking it. But anyway, they gave him the Zofran, and he was luckily able to hold down the liquids manually, because he really didn't want to get, as he calls it, he didn't want to get stung. He didn't want an IV, which I can understand, but yeah, that's pretty much what has filed in behind one another over the course of the last week and a half. Granddaddy got sick, and he passed away, and then Irma. Finally got power back through Irma, and then I think things are going to get smoothed out, and then Matthew gets sick. And now we're just trying to just coax him through this now. Luckily, by the time we left the emergency room, Matthew wasn't 100%, but considering he was able to, you know, manually hold down fluids of his own, on his own, they didn't have to give him an IV. He was feeling a lot better. It just took a lot of Zofran to get that to work. But anyway, as I promised, here's your compilation video of what has happened for the last week and a half, and I'll see you in the next video. And the next video is going to be a very fun one, because I have grab bags. No, not subscription grab bags. I don't have subscription grab bags. I have grab bags that my neighbor actually gave to me that When she left in the midst of Irma, she came back and she said, I got something for you. So I haven't even opened them yet. And that's what I'm doing my next video on. Is I'm going to see what's in these little bags. Because she said it's makeup. I just don't know what it is. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.